Hello, welcome back to Map Guides. Today is obviously Ensk, and yeah, let's just get started with the first map. First strat, sorry. So, yeah, this is just the opener. You're sending this to 6E here straight, so you can spot this cross to punish it with all your VKKs, and your E3 should be able to punish it as well, as long as they have good enough spawns. This E3 can also be here for now, and they all just shoot for this cross. If the enemy team is dumb and cross with slow tanks, you just murder them. You can kind of tap E3s as well. You bring double 260 for basically the regional spawn points, because you can get really bad spawns with the 260s if this one over here. So you kind of need the likelihood of the 260 spawning somewhere close to get here in time to spot the cross. You can bring more if you really wanted. Like you could maybe um, replace this guy or maybe one of the VKKs to a 260, so you make sure you get that spot. But that's up to you. This 260 is just also coming here to spot this cross. I'm pretty sure it's tall enough to spot this cross. I mean, obviously you can sit in the window and also do it. And yeah, it just gives you earlier info if they cross forward or backwards, if this guy for some reason is being pushed off. But yeah, the strat is basically you punish this cross if they're playing a full city. Then you go take the city yourself. If they are full pushing city, you hit nothing. When they are playing full city, they'll normally come to this and they'll take this, and they'll not have a lot in field, maybe like one or two guys here, and then their E3s on rails, which will be one or two because you need a lot of tanks to hold the city. In that case, you're normally just sending these double E3 down the rails when you can. You're then sending the double 260 across, like the double 260 just cross red line and come across with the double with the 279, and then you just pressure this side out. And the idea is you just get around to their E3s that no longer can sit here, so your E3s can come down this rail, and they can farm anything on this basically because you're unpenetrable. This 279 is just to spot this. At the beginning, this E3 is also just to spot this because you don't spot it any other way, and just in case, I don't know, in case like you don't see anything on this cross, like you just bring this guy back to make sure that they are playing city. You can spot them when they go like this, I'm pretty sure, so they should never be able to surprise you, pushing you, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, after you get this control, let's just say like this, now they're kind of stuck, really. You send your VKKs across. This 279 runs, so he doesn't get caught. And then your VKKs are like, I don't know, something like this. If one can cross all the way to here, then fantastic, do that. But yeah, this makes this push like impossible, basically, because you have just have so much health and alpha. The E3 might want to leave this, maybe. It is up to you. He might just come join with you, and you just go fight together, and you can choose whatever repush you want to do. After you get this control and this, it's kind of over most of the time, and you can just kind of slow press them into like some box, and you go kill them basically. Another thing that like this E3 is just here to kind of counter any peaks on the field. Make sure your E4 can stay here and the E3s don't get surprised in their ass. But 279 is just here to, if they want to push this guy out, you clap them back, making it kind of near impossible to push, or they will need to send like 3 guys to maybe kill one, and you should be able to kill it. You should be able to kill 3 people probably if you have a lot of your team here. And yeah, the only thing this E3 needs to be careful of is if the enemy team is like holding the city, they can go like here on this angle, and they can shoot like kind of like through there onto him. And obviously, if they have someone down on the rails, they can shoot him as well. So if they have this and this, like he will die. So you need to be a bit careful on that. Hopefully, you can kind of just back off and stay unspotted, because there's not a lot that can spot you. I mean, I guess they can from like here probably, maybe. I mean, there's trees here, but I think you won't get spotted here unless they're like playing here. So you should be fine. Um, yeah, if they're just sitting on their ass and they're just, I don't know, they're just doing like this camp. Normally what you do is just take field. I mean, it's similar to like if they play full city, you just take this side, you start annoying them on rails. You go take the rails. Ideally, you come like all the way down to like here and here. Obviously, it doesn't show it on the map, but you can get shots into like this, and then you can start putting pressure onto their base basically and start capping out. And force them to come in, and they get clapped from here and here. I don't know. You just like I don't know. You'd have like three VKKs here. You'd have the double 260 in base with the 279. You'd maybe just bring this here. This can be here. And you just do, I don't know, something like this. Um, to basically force them to come back into their base, and you murder them on any cross that they do, basically. Yeah. So North is very easy. I'll probably show you like one more, but not really much changes. Just North has such an advantage on this side of the map, just because they get this punish. So the enemy team need to take a bit slightly faster tanks to take over the rails. E3s, if they have a bad spawn, also get punished on this cross, so you also might lose rails just off opener. So yeah, North is just very powerful, has a lot of good positions. But yeah, that's it for that strat. Right, here is another strat. I have not played this strat myself. Well, I think I did years ago because they removed it out of the map pool. Um, for like 1 year, I think. So I haven't played this in basically a year. But basically it's just a YOLO strat. I thought I'd just show you this because every other strat revolves around just punishing the city, and it's basically the same as the first one I showed you. So like, what's the point? Um, But yeah, you're sending this 260 here just to get early info. Hopefully you see if they're crossing or not with how much. Afterwards you probably have to run away. More than likely, well, you will. Hopefully they're not playing some like YOLO to here to try and kill you, but hopefully you get away. And yeah, the rest of you just pushing this flank. Most of the time, you will probably just not stop, and you'll just keep on going. Because it kind of just sucks if you want to just play this split from this side. I mean, you can do it, but because you don't have like things that sit up here impenetrable like 279s, it may be hard to hold your base. But I mean, you can defend from places. But yeah, anyway, you bring V4s. They go like this straight. They can also go like this if you really wanted them to be a bit more safe. And you just go plow the side. They come to here, maybe just to fight or to push away the E3s, and then you just go clap them. Hopefully, in their base, you catch their E3s slightly unaware, hopefully, and you just keep on pushing. Yeah, these double 260s you can come out wide just to clear anything that's here, while the rest of your team clears this, and they can go back to base if needed, basically. If for some reason you don't think you can push through, like, I would probably sit something like this. This 260 hopefully gets away. Let's say in best case scenario. I don't know. You'd probably do something like this. This building is probably destroyed, so you can sit in the rubble pile. And then you probably want to do something like this with 360 TPs up top. And then the rest of the TPs, they can be like inside of here probably. Something like this anyway. And the idea is, like, if they push to the base, you have these three TPs aiming, so hopefully they can't cross this, but they could if they send their whole team. Kind of depends on how much spots they get. Hopefully you're kind of staying unspotted with these people and these people. Maybe you hold these people a bit closer to this side. Maybe you put them here. I don't know. But yeah, you're trying to stay hidden with all these tanks if you can. They might come here and break the wall though, or break the rail cart to spot the cross. So you might get spotted, but yeah, hopefully you're just staying safe with all these people. If they come re-push this flank, you just punish them coming in. If they come to this side, these double TPs hopefully can back off to here. They make shields. The TPs cover them not being on this guy, and these TPs can also, just fight here with the V4s, just like playing slow, probably against E3s. And yeah, maybe you just go take this side of the map if you can with the 3260s, or you might just re-push this. That's kind of it. Like, as I said, I don't have a lot of experience with this strat. Most of the time, I would probably just keep on sending it through, especially if your whole team is not spotted. If your whole team is not spotted, it's quite nice, I would imagine, because they will not see this coming. They may even think, there's no way they'll just YOLO this, it's dumb, and you will just do it. And you'll keep on pushing. I think Invil did this strat, I don't know, it must have been like a year and a half ago, probably something like this. But they used, I think, 279s when before the nerf, and G7 heavies, I think, were used. I remember. Maybe it was Bob. Maybe it was Motivacia. I can't remember exactly, but it was one of the like top 3 teams. Anyway, and it caught out Invil, I think. I think that's what. I think it was Motivacia actually. What, catching out Invil, I think. Yeah, I might put a link to it in the description if I remember to, if I find it. But yeah, just a pretty, just YOLO field strat. This strat might lose if they do a good split of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 260s here, some E3s, and like, I don't know, 4 tanks here, because the E3s will just come to here and they'll punish top side, or here, and they'll just punish your top side. Yeah, these 260s will just lose a lot of health coming into this. They might get stuck. They'll push out this flank with like 2 tanks, and they'll just hold this area with this surviving for so long that you can't really kill it. So, I mean, the only way to really do it is you'd have to send more TPs up top side, because it's like you can go all the way down to here to try and shoot them, but it's a hard shot. But then you give these double 260s shots on the side of their turrets and stuff. So, like, yeah, if you were gonna do it, you'd probably push like literally like 4 tanks, maybe even more, to try and kill it. But if they have 4 or 3 there, honestly, it's gonna be quite rough for you, honestly. So I don't know if you'll be able to do it. Maybe you just swoop up and try and kill them quickly. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'll now show you some replays from this side. Right, here is a replay from the north. I thought I'd show you this one because just to show you how hard it is to push out the if you just YOLO City, how hard it is. I mean, in this battle, what we have 5 TDs, is it 5? Yeah, I think 5. It's like the max number you can probably take. And yeah, so they are just pushing out the north if they can, but just quite hard, as you're gonna see. I mean, sadly, I don't have the replay, so I can't recap to show you the north fight. But I mean, you just have to look at the map because I'm not doing anything anyway. But as you can see, they kind of, I don't know, they're a bit weird. They don't fully commit to it. Like if they brought these like 4 tanks, all these heavy tanks, like these double TP and this VKK, and brought them in to this line to either kill this or come across to this, and they just commit into this, they would probably have a bit more of a chance. But for some reason they kind of go to B1 in that area and then just sit there, which is not amazing. Really, don't really know why they did that, but yeah, like just giving us access to the second rail completely is not very good, in my opinion. because this second rail is like with this rail I'm in now is just very 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 powerful, just because the amount of I don't know, like ways it gives you to shoot. Um, do need to be careful that you don't get repushed in the south though when you are playing the second rail, but normally you are fine. Um, yeah. Another thing is normally when if they push into this area, you can normally repush it somewhat easily. I mean, we do this push horribly. Oh yeah, this is the thing I should probably tell you about in the key positions bit. I do this incorrectly here, so probably shouldn't learn from this. I mean, but you get the idea. This was not a good repush because we went in one by one. Um, so yeah, not great. Not great there. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much to do now. Like we've repushed this horribly, but we have done it. Um, like yeah, and now it's like, I mean, this 705A probably shouldn't be here. He should be over here to be able to repush. But I mean, he gets the kill, so fair enough. Um, so now we have to start repushing probably this guy because he's kind of killable from where the E100 is. Doesn't get shot on the cross. You could probably even bring like double 260 up to repush this if you wanted. But you can also just push that base because they only have one here, one here. So you could probably just group up all the three 260s and push across the base if you wanted. I mean, this is like Ensk is, I mean, I guess it's like all maps, but you just need to see where your the enemy team is weakest and push it, right? Um, I don't know. Like I'm saying that I spot the cross, but I just don't. I'm in the complete wrong bit. I need to be on this rail, on this car, on this spot through. Um, oh, yeah, I was very much lying here when I said I can spot the cross. Um, but yeah, I mean this VKK area, you can be shot from like here ish. Um, you do need to be careful on that. But yeah, now we are just repushing their base because they only have a tank on full health, 4 health there. So yeah, yeah, I finally realized my mistake. Um, and there we go. This is the correct position to spot this cross. So you need this car, no, train cart destroyed with these two and this one, and you can spot this cross. But yeah, normally if they're playing full city, normally their south is weak, so it's probably the best place to push if you have the option to. But this game, Ensk, when they do this kind of push, is all just about finding the angles and slowly killing them over time with the rail control that you get, basically. So yeah, that is another replay from North. Right, here is another replay. This is a bit more of a good lineup, I would say. This is against Mute, which are Polish, I think, and like 1400 elo. I think like 1400 elo ish. This is Shark leading. He likes to bring more 260s, so be more flexible. I'm pretty sure, but it's fine. Only to take two if you want only two. They have a lot of E3s. So yeah, I thought I'd show this game of why it's probably not very good to take this many E3s from South. That's one of the reasons you're just very slow, and crossing that gap is rather painful. Um, so yeah, I mean, like if you want to play with that 279 is, you kind of need a CS really that can be unspotted to do it. And yeah, after we kill the E3, I mean, E3s also don't have a lot of health anymore, so I think at the beginning we were like 5k up ish, I think. So it's like another reason to not bring this many E3s. These 260s are pushed up way too far for the enemy team that are playing City. Um, I guess they just thought we weren't going to rotate, I guess. But yeah, like easy 260s also can get shot from the rails with the E3s. Here, another like A6 can I think also shoot that. Obviously it's like turrets, but you're an E3 with 395 pen. And yeah, now we're just waiting to group up basically to go push because we just outnumber them and they're not fast enough to rotate to support the team. Even then, like if they stayed at the back, like where they are now, which is basically where you're meant to kind of be, we probably still would just overwhelm this flank, really, because they have so many E3s that they cannot rotate with their E3s to cover it. So I think this open up by the FC is just kind of bad. There's no way you should be bringing this many E3s. I mean, how many E3s is that? The 5? A 6? Dude, canning skills. Going back to school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And then double E4s. They have 7 TDs. And 8 heavies. Also 279s. I don't think work really in this meta with so many healthy tanks with good armor. Like the VKK does auto pens it basically. 60p. I mean, I guess if you're fighting 60p's, but even then, at close range, 60p can pen a 279 quite easily, and there's nowhere to kind of angle up. It's quite a flat map, and yeah, that's all she wrote really. I would not recommend bringing this many DDs from south. If they had maybe some more heavy tanks, they could have maybe reinforced the field in time for our push. But I mean, even then, I don't think they even saw it. So what are you meant to do there? Um, so they would kind of need something either here or here to spot our rotations, and they need to do that instantly to see us pushing the field so they could rotate. So yeah. Um, but yeah, that's kind of it for North. From my replays anyway. I will find some from South. Right, here is the first strat from South. This is basically just a YOLO city push. These work quite well if the enemy team's playing quite heavy TD, like I don't know, 5 or more TDs. Basically because the idea is you just overwhelm whatever is here. You just don't care. Um, you just don't care whatever they have on the rails, like, and ideally you kill this entire area basically with overwhelming numbers. These E3s are sitting here in the beginning, like they're sitting back here after. I mean, what you can do is you can maybe send like one BKK here, or maybe they just the 2-7 heavies, something like this. Or you could actually maybe even take a 260 and put them here. Oh, like this, and try and push away this guy. And then the double E3s comes to rails after not being punished, and then they can start pressuring up, probably this side, to try and get. Ideally, they get all the way to here, but I doubt they will. Or they come up the second rail, up on this rail, to then start shooting people inside. They're just sitting here because there's a gap I think here which you can shoot like through this, and then if you get like, I mean if you get all the way, then you can start pressuring these people, right? But yeah, the idea is you just overwhelm whatever is in here, These 279 is just making sure they can't hide in this lane. If they have anything here trying to back off, or you can shoot the people in the window after your team is pushing through. But like, yeah, the idea is you just YOLO push this. You don't care. You have so much health that hopefully you just won't care. You probably send like 2 here, and then you start playing inside with the other ones. So you play like this ideally. You keep on pushing. You push like this. The other ones come to here. You put all these people in crossfire. This 260 maybe can even come up to here afterwards. Obviously, this needs to be clear to play this, but so you might need something to like come back in to this with the 260 and the E3 helping out. And this 260, obviously, it's like if there's a guy here, he can't do anything, but at least he holds this guy, and maybe he even comes and just joins the fight. But yeah, just a very simple strat. If they don't have many TDs, it is quite annoying to do this because you're just pushing into heavy tanks, really. Maybe if they don't have a lot, you can change the strat up a little bit and just take a bit of control. So let's just say you do something like the 300 here, the double just heavy is just like waiting for something to happen. And then you can bring like 1, 2, 3 VKKs here. VKK like here and here. Probably something like this. Like this VKK is just watching this angle if he can. So, because they can kind of appear here, then no one spots it. Unless you sit here, but then they have this window that can counter him, so there's not really anywhere you can sit to spot this corner other than here. And yeah, the idea is kind of the same. The VKKs are just here, push away the guy in the window to let the E3s cross. Obviously, if they have like no TDs, then fantastic, you can play the rails. If they have 2 or 3, then yeah, you'll be in a staring battle with them, and yeah, it'll be very hard to break. Like your probably only option is you bring some VKKs back, and then you try and start pushing up this lane, probably, or this rail, whatever, because there's some broken things here, so you can kind of shoot across. But if they have an E3 here, it kind of counters it, so you kind of need to get the field control. So maybe you start getting some VKKs up to like here to push this guy away, because this rail is not like fully safe from field, especially if you get like this angle or this angle. That's why I have him the strat I showed you in North, a guy here to kind of stop this from happening, but I have my E3s here, so that doesn't happen. But if you had more E3s, play complete rails control. This guy kind of counters this, but yeah, there's quite a lot to think about. You probably, again, like if you need some more tanks, you might need to bring out like 2 more tanks. I mean, maybe just stay with this like this for now. Wait until you kill this guy. If there is a guy here, obviously you can kind of kill him from here and here with the E3s and maybe the 2-7 heavies, so he will die if he sits here, to be fair. So he will not live forever. So you can kind of like do it. Kill this guy, then kill this guy, start pressuring up the rails, force them to repush town, and then it's your choice if you want to stay close in town to have this spot, or you back off into these positions again and play to get field control. Obviously depends on how much they have. You probably want to sit all the way back because they will just have more numbers than you. So you just run all the way back to here. I don't know, let's just say you have double 2-7 heavy here with a 279 VKK, something like this. This VKK can maybe even sit here or something, or here. And then you just start playing the field control to try and kill the E3s on rails, to let your E3s play on the rails while you're ready for this push, basically. If they push this, then you can probably push this guy. And yeah, you should probably win this, but it's a lot of managing really, because you need to do this at the same time you're pulling away from the city, and not just so you don't get caught anywhere to kill the E3s and whatever's here, and get ready for their push. If they don't push this, then like you have control of hopefully all of this. If you don't have control of this, then it's fine. It doesn't really matter. He'll just leave him here, rotate back, and probably repush the town. Right, here is the next strat from south. This is basically trying to punish them crossing or sitting here with their team. You have 4-6s just take some control over the field and also YOLO into this position to counter the guy that tries to spot your cross, while also spotting whatever they have here, sniping at your cross. And yeah, the idea is you just punish with, your double E4, your 5 VKKs to try and punish whatever they have here. At the same time, you're crossing with an V4 and E3, pushing up the second rail instantly, so they cannot push their E3 across down to here to try and shoot it. And you now also spot all rotations, as well as, these 260s also spot them, but after you run away, you have a hold down. Obviously, this V4 you turn sideways on, to make a hold down for this E3 if you are dying. Like if you take 2 shots from an E3, you have like 2,100 health ish. So after you take your second shot from an E3, you should just probably get ready to turn sideways to make a hold down for this E3. Just so again you have control of the second rail, and you spot rotations when your 260s probably need to run away after they repush the city. Yeah. So that's like the opening. If the enemy team is playing full city, full forests or field, whatever you want to call this, you are more than likely bringing your double E4s to like here. This E3 can swing to here. All the VKKs are coming to like here, and also to here, like somewhere here. Probably here, I guess. To try and shoot up at this cross here. Maybe you bring like these, like, I don't know, let's say double VKK as well here as well. Try and shoot up at this cross that are punishing the 260s. The 279 and double 260 can take the town. This E4 and E3, it's kind of up to you. You might think this V4 goes all the way, this E3 comes back and helps the base, and just covers this angle so they can't push down rails, or they can't push down like this. And yeah, you just get ready to put them in this box basically, and then you should be able to wear them out over time with the 260s, because they should be very hard to kill. You could maybe change these double 260s to 705As, maybe. So you don't have cupolas. You could change them to I7s, but I7s don't have a lot of pen to deal with the tanks people are taking on Ensk. VKKs are very normal now, on Ensk, which I don't fully understand. I think 60Ps are still definitely probably better. But VKKs are also completely fine, especially after the nerfs. The VKK and 60P will have the exact same reload, or from what I've seen, I think they both have 20-second reloads now, base. So they have the exact same reload, so probably VKK will be better because you have that advantage of pen when you're shooting at 279s, E100s. So maybe next maneuver is get yourself VKKs, because I would imagine they will become a bit more popular after the 60p nerfs. Maybe they even go further with 60p nerfs, but yeah, that's kind of the strat. If they are playing full city, or they're just doing like a punish strat like normal, again, there we go. Again, you're just trying to punch them back. Let's do 60s, punish this guy, or try and push them away so your tanks don't get spotted. It's just Fernandez here just to spot a repush coming, because obviously they're all here. They all get spotted crossing over. If they are not playing a lot of TDs, like 2 maybe, or less, maybe no, I would not send your 260s here, because it's more than likely they're either YOLOing forest or YOLOing town. So I would probably just keep your 260s. I would probably like put maybe one here. The 279 also comes back. to maybe here, something like this, and you can spot with this 260 through this little gap here. This 279 peaks on this to spot this. Maybe you keep a VKK back as well to spot this. So now you have, that vision, this vision, and this. So you spot them here, YOLOing. And yeah, you have a lot of time to kind of reinforce this and punish it when they do. And probably take this with 260s. But yeah, if they're doing like a normal punish strat, which is kind of like what this strat is meant to deal with, or meant to deal with in a better way, I think this will become quite popular. I think it already is becoming quite popular with people just sitting here with tanks aiming at this punish, basically. So maybe the meta will slightly change from north to like trying to counter this counter. But yeah, if they're just doing full punish strat, like hopefully you will trade some shots. Whatever happens, happens. Afterwards, you probably want to. It depends on how many TDs you can have, and if you can take control of this rail. Because if you can take control of this rail with like this E3 and maybe an E4, you can start pressuring this rail to get this rail control, to push away their E3s. Obviously, if you're playing in advances, you can use strike to push away these people to make them 1,000 health less, basically, and try and tap them if they try and run away. But afterwards, you're more than likely reinforcing the city with all these tanks to get ready for a repush. Basically, the E4s you probably want to come over as well. You probably leave one, the other E4 will probably come over. You can also change these E4s for E3s if you want, so you have better tanks to take this rail if you need to do it. But yeah, that's kind of it. After you take the city control, you have this, you have this. You just have to slowly wear them down with rails control. Like if you can get all the way up to here with the E3s, yeah, you're pretty good. Like if you win rails, you can then kill the camp or the camp really, because you will just have angles on the rails to kind of make these people uncomfortable, and then you can start playing into them, or they have to repush into you, and you should just win that. But most of the time, the enemy team will not just sit here. They will probably try and repush the city themselves. In that case, you probably are just having a fight in the city. Yeah, that's it for this strat, I think. Right, here is a replay from South. I do not have many. It seems like I've looked through like 20 advances and I could only find very, very few of them. So you might only get one replay from South if I can't find some more. But yeah, this is kind of the strat I showed you of the kind of split. But try and punish that punish. And yeah, I'm just doing what I'm doing. Trying to punish their punish if I can. They have not killed the wall for some reason. Probably means that they are pushing one side or another. Really. So this is a bit weird to see nothing in the first 40 seconds of Ensk. So I don't really know what they were doing this whole time. They just didn't think to shoot the wall down, I guess. I don't know. They weren't even spawning it either, so a bit weird from the enemy team. But yeah, as you can see, they're not playing field. They have a guy in A6. I'm just taking back the city now because there's not really much else to do. Should be telling that E3 that's currently running away to go back down the rails, which I do in a sec. There, I think he goes now. I think, or maybe it's in a bit. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, that guy in A6 is not safe if the South team has city control. So putting a guy there, you need to be careful of that. But yeah, And there we go. I noticed that the E3 is not on the rails. Um, so yeah, just kind of taking city control at the moment. Not really much else to do. It's just taking rails and city control for this kind of camp. Yeah, guy in the window as always. I would not put an E3 there. He's just kind of too slow to run away if we do push him. So I would definitely not put an E3 there. Obviously, I get it. You know, he's completely held down in a window, but like he can't run to a better position, so he will just die when we decide to push him. Um, as well, I don't know. People put tanks on this thing here with the 60 piers, and that's just bad because eventually he'll just run out of places to kind of be safe from. I mean, like, he's safe now, but like, yeah, he's on a lot less health. It's just a really awkward position to play, so I wouldn't put anyone there. And as you can see, we're just pushing the C3 now. Um, this is a really weird setup from the enemy team. They have double E4 and A2. They had three guys in A0. Just a very weird strat from the enemy team. I mean, like the three guys in the north just make it impossible to push it, but I don't think you never break this camp from pushing zero line. So yeah, I don't really know what they were doing, but yeah, as you can see, I mean the health difference is crazy right now. But like the enemy team just gives all positions. You kind of get this position out wide, force them to kind of do something, because if not, they are going to be surrounded soon enough after because we took the rail control. So yeah, it was like a pretty easy game, I would say. Like the main points are taking control of the rails, all the good rail ones, the good rails. I don't know, which is normally just this one, this one, and this one. I mean, probably don't need this one really. It's more like the second rail and the fourth rail, um, just to get angles on like this area. Because I think from here you can shoot all the way across here. From this rail you can kind of shoot this area. So yeah, two just very good rails to take, and yeah, make sure they can't push out of the city. And I think it's basically quite easy after that. You just need to decide when you want to push this, which is basically when you get this rails control. So yeah, pretty nice. Right, here is another replay from the south. This is Shark leading, I think. Yeah, it is. Um, and yeah, so he is basically playing heavy field with this strat. Um, which is very nice for what the enemy team is doing. They are playing full, well, basically full field as well, but we have 4 260s out wide with 340 heat pen. So yeah, good luck kind of going through this. As you can see, I mean, like if this was my strat with the heavy TDs, like and the people sitting here, obviously I'd still be in time to come here to stop them from pushing, but I only have two tanks here, but I think two tanks is still enough to kind of hold this push that they were doing. Um, so yeah, I still think the strat that I showed you is like it would work out the same kind of. Obviously, we'd probably get less punish on the enemy team doing this push, but I don't know. It's a bit weird this enemy team again. Like they played heavy rails, but then also wanted control over the rails, um, but and not a lot city. Can't really play rails when there's not a lot city, so it doesn't really add up. So yeah, a bit awkward from the enemy team because as you can see, we can kind of just push through their town, and now their E3s on rails are not very safe anymore, and they're forced to kind of push back into the city, which then we shoot them from the bottom of rails. So yeah, um, pretty odd from the enemy team, but like as you can see, like you can quite easily kind of not counter, but I mean, I kind of guess counter a full push on the field if you have like 4 tanks out wide, because like they can't they can't kill this many tanks without losing like probably like 7 of theirs. So it's not a good trade for them, obviously. And yeah, Yusuf Nines are good out on the field, but like eventually someone's gonna hit a Cupola. Um, and if we had an E3 like on this corner or this corner, he I think can shoot that location on where the 279 is. But yeah, I mean, like a pretty simple game. I would say it's like we stopped them from pushing field. We had enough to push out the city. We pushed out the city. Um, yeah, not really much to it this game. Um, yeah, we just kind of push out. You push out the city if they're playing full field. So yeah, and yeah, that is a game over. Um, yeah, I mean, it was kind of close. Like maybe if they had only one E3 on rails, or maybe only two, and then 2 more in city, like maybe this would work a bit better. But yeah, because they push so far in the field, you could probably just stop your city push and then repush to the field yourself. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for the replays. Right, let us get into some key positions. First, we will start off with d5. This is just a position to spot the cross. That's really it. You have all your tanks here and you punish it. I've probably explained this many times in the replays and stuff. But yeah, that's all it does. You need to be careful from people like YOLOing you like this to try and catch you, but I mean, it's pretty easy. You just run somewhere away and you will live. Need to be slightly careful of E3s getting up to here. They can shoot through a little gap in the wall to kill you, so a little careful about that, but a very easy position to know. Right, next is D4, I guess, D3, just on the edge here. Again, you just go up here with kind of be basically any tank, and you spot this cross for your team. You can do it in the window if you want, but the window obviously you can get shot from back here in your upper plate, but from like if you do it on the rubble pile, nothing can hit you apart from in your turret, and hopefully using something with a strong turret so they can't kill you. But yeah, pretty simple. Right, next is B1. B1 is just another position to spot this entire line, basically. Afterwards, you're running back into this location to then angle up. If you're a 279, I mean, some people are taking 279 to this position, but it can be basically anything as long as the guy runs in time. But the idea is with the 279, you go back here. If it's an E100 or something else that has a bit of speed, 60p even, you can probably just sit back here and yeah, you live there. Before this is again just another location basically to spot this. The idea is you're basically spotting this angle, mostly because you now spot them going like this, or like this. That's basically the only reason to take this, so they can never sneak up and just push with their whole team getting spotted here or here on this guy, so he has time to run away, basically. Yeah, I mean, most people, you could put an E3 here off the beginning if you really want, if you're worried about them pushing city full straight, but most people just take a tank here and then rotate it back to here. It can be anything. Right, next is B6, so the rails now. This is just another position to basically counter this rail, because some of the rail carts are basically knocked over. So you kind of stop anyone getting control of this rail, but then if they get control of this rail, they can start punishing these people here and here, and some people that are still here if you have people there. So it's quite important to keep a guy here if you are playing for rail control, or to stop them pushing up the rail. Need to be careful about the enemy team taking this building because then they can shoot your ass. But if you're going to put a guy here, I would reinforce the field with like 3 or 4 just to hold it and make sure you hold it. Or at least someone here and someone here probably. So you have one guy at probably a 279 so you can angle up on this building, and another E3 here to then shoot them if they cross for this guy, and a guy up here to also shoot and cover this guy. So he's quite hard to push. Yeah. Next is very simple. A0. This is just basically a position to spot again on what's happening on the field. It also stops the enemy team from taking it themselves, because if they get this, then they can kind of rain fire onto this place, which is kind of where most of your team likes to be, and also spots like every rotation. So if the enemy team get this, then it's very nice for them. So disallowing that is pretty cool. Right, next for north is this location here. This is a position used in mostly in E3. I mean, if for some reason you find yourself with a 60B here, it can work, but E3 is the best because it doesn't get penned. But you're just looking this way in an E3 and stopping them from playing this location, which then stops them from spotting this cross. And yeah, you just deal damage here. You can shoot the maybe guy in the window as well if he backs off a little. And yeah, you can also then go down all the way to this, and there's another thing where you spot this entire rotation as well. So that's quite nice of Wargaming to add it. I think it's like that. I think it's like that. So yeah, another way to spot a rotation. Right. Another location from north could also be used in the south is what is this? G6, G7. This is another location to basically spot the cross here. So you have something like it's like that basically. It takes some, I don't know, practice, I guess, to know how to destroy each rail car, but afterwards you can kind of just basically spot this cross indefinitely and they can't really do much about you. So yeah, just a very nice rotation to spot. Right, now for south, we will start off with this location, so E5. this is just a location to basically spot the cross, push away this guy in the window, and yeah, that's really it. Nothing really else to explain. Obviously, you need to be careful from the E3 getting to here. You might end up joining this to, if you're full pushing north, you might even join like this to here to shoot them in the butt, but yeah, pretty simple. Right, next is E2. This is a location again to spot this cross and stop the enemy team from pressuring back into this. If again you're full pushing north, the enemy team might like linger here and then come back into this, and now you have a guy here to farm them for doing that. Yeah, nothing really special. If you back off, you need to be careful of this. You can, I mean, if for some reason you want another way to spot this rotation, you can even back up all the way into this, kill this house, and then you spot over it, and you can spot like into this bit, basically. Will you ever need that? Probably not. You have this position that does basically the same thing, but is a lot safer. Yeah. Right, next is G5. This is another location basically to spot this cross. It is dangerous doing it in a heavy tank because you're a bit wide, I guess. You might want to take a medium tank to do this. CS bat with just low noise. Just like low noise HP stabs, probably something like that. Or maybe just HP turbo because it's Ensk and it's close range. But yeah, you're just spotting this cross. Nothing really more to it than that. Right, next is this location. As I just said, you are using it to kill this guy, but also just stop them from pushing the field, and also spot the field. You can also give shots if some of their E3s are playing kind of badly. And yeah, you kind of just stopping anything pushing the field, especially if there's like more than two of you. You're very hard to kill. You need to come like all the way to here to then shoot you in like the side, I guess, and then have some people here to also crossfire you. It's a very annoying location to deal with if you are going full field. Right, next is D7. You are basically using this position to counter anyone that goes here. You kind of make a crossfire with like this guy and this guy. This guy will knock down the house over time with HE. It will take about, I think, 4 shots, maybe a bit more. And the idea is you have this guy that shoots him in the side turret if he looks this way. If he looks this way, this guy can shoot him. The only thing that can really live against this location would be a 279, because you can angle up towards this, but then this guy will shoot him in the side of his turret. If it's a 60 DP or something, you can just trade against it, and eventually it will die.